Hi, good morning, and how are you two this morning?
Always fine.
Always fine. Me and Kobus is just discussing the gnome land here, for instance. So, Kobus, you can continue. Tell them what you told me about gnome land.
Gnomes are actually little things like in Harry Potter, like Dobby. That's elves and gnomes. They actually really exist. And something interesting, I started painting them a couple of years back because they were so terribly faked during the years. So I started painting them, and they actually can communicate with you and tell you what color they want to be. There's even one specific one that I was painting, and he told to me, "Don't look at my butt, please look at something else." And I mean, you need to paint it. And I mean, the dolphin there is just a symbol of the water for me. It's one of my strong elements if you do meditation. So I like to have the water elements in the garden.
Yeah.
And this is a spiritual garden, so you need your water elements, fire, air. So it's quite important to have all your elements in your garden.
Nikita, this is the meditation corner. Now, what is very important, I think you noticed that this is a spiritual garden. In other words, it's been laid out to attract all the 5 elements at one time. And this is the meditation corner. I wish you can feel when you sit and meditate here. It is in complete silence. And this is a dome, and this little things here I want to put a lot more on. I call it the planets.
Yes, exactly.
And if you sit here and you focus on the planets, you're automatically going to fall into a very deep meditation. And this is what I usually do here. There's no flowers blooming at this stage, but doesn't matter.
Everything looks beautiful.
But this is this, and come, let me tell you something about the next part of the garden. The garden temple, as you know it.
Oh.
Now, you know, a few years ago, me and my beloved Caboose, we went to the seaside. I'm not going to tell you the name, but you know we are researching ancient alien ruins on Earth, where they stayed, etc., etc. So yes, when we were at one of those sites, there was a small little shop. And in the shop was, among a lot of other stuff, that big Buddha over there. Now, I'm going to stand next to the Buddha, and you can see it's actually a very big.
It's really big.
Extremely heavy.
Yeah.
And we brought this one during one occasion, and the other long one there during another occasion to Bloemfontein. Now, yeah. I would like to just mention to you, but I think Kobus must tell you that story.
This one was actually put on the back seat of the Mercedes.
Oh.
It was a task to get it in. It's 280 kg, so it's quite heavy. The other one is 290 kg. Okay, but it was too long to fit onto the back seat. So what we needed to do is put the front seat down and lie it into the front seat. It looked like the corpse that was lying in the vehicle. But we got here, and actually with that same trip, we needed to take another lady's personal things out of the house because she was busy moving. So this whole Mercedes was loaded. And we got actually a puncture along the road. And I need to take the wheel out, and it's in the boot. And as I packed out and I stepped back, you can only see this heap of things. And you couldn't see the car.
That sounds like a very nice trip.
When we came in Bloemfontein, the lady actually started, when we packing her things out, she said, "Did all this come out of the car?" I said, "Yes." There wasn't a trailer. It was all in the car.
Make a plan.
And if I can add something from this side, We drove a 1992 Mercedes-Benz
Oh.
200E,
Yes,
which is
yeah.
not a very big vehicle to load such things in. And people ask me, why do you overload the car with huge monumental stuff like that? And I said, well, if it comes to the gods up there, the deities, nothing
Yeah.
is too big
You
to
make
bring
it.
home again.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, it's a Mercedes-Benz.
Yes.
I mean, it's a very old one, but I look after it and it's still running. Cape Town, Joburg, wherever we want to go,
Yes.
it's there. So yes, and you know what? I also prayed for a car in those days. And I got this Mercedes-Benz for a bargain, and I'm still going full-time. And I think it's going to bring another lot of, let's say, deity monumentals or Buddhas or
Yes.
whatever. And I'm looking forward to that.
This is a practice. As you can see, this is where Aaron's see clients. That is a bed that we do the chakra balancing on and the bamboo massages. I just want to show you the pictures there about the bamboo massages. And those are the chart for the chakra balancings. We mostly see all the clients in here, and it's so nice, the atmosphere that we've got here. The whole layout was done by me and Aaron's, and here was a goddess that helped us with the outlay of this place, and she actually gave us stones to put into the floor for people to get a feeling when they come into the place of the healing purpose of this place. So this is a practice, and we will take it on now further inside the house.
I would just like to apologize for the bad condition of the swimming pool. We had a huge storm yesterday afternoon, actually right through the night, and this morning we just had some flocking material. So sorry for this, but I think you remember the last time it was absolutely beautiful. Peter and team, are we ready as usual?
As ready as always.
Right. Thank you, Nikita, and hello to all our friends out there. Welcome once again in me and Kabouse's Bushveld cabin in the city of Bloemfontein. Its other name is Mangaung, here in South Africa. If you haven't listened to the previous programs, please do so. The contents of the previous programs on gods and aliens and possession are necessary to understand the contents of this program D. In this program D, I'm going to share ancient wisdom secrets on the dangers of mirrors, fireplaces, campfires, water pools, etc. as portals to other dark side dimensions. And for a better understanding, think of the 5 elements and the consciousness giving life forms in each element: fire, water, earth and air, and spirit, of course. Remember to press the subscribe button, the like button, the share button, as well as the little bell icon to be in line for more ancient wisdom secrets.
Aaron's, this sounds scary. I know we mentioned it before, but why does it feel so scary even to think about it?
Nikita, that is scary stuff. If you saw what me and Aaron saw in other people's homes, you don't understand. It's quite scary.
Yes,
So.
I can only imagine.
I believe that mirrors are open portals to dark dimensions, but I think only a very few people believe in the dangers of mirrors as portals to dark dimensions. What to expect them to believe that a water pond, television or computer screen can swap you as a soul with something else, or make you slow like a computer who needs a defrag.
Eliska, after listening to this program, the people out there will at least have some serious thinking to do. For us, the psychics who can see in some of the other different vibrating dimensions, Mirrors, fireplaces, campfires and water pools among others, these are all life portals or doorways to other dimensions, usually doorways to dark side dimensions. We can see it, and if you're going to hear me out, you will understand why you should be extremely careful not to stare into one of the above mentioned portals if these portals are not shielded in advance and safe.
Aaron, will you please explain to the viewers what a portal or doorway is? Is there a difference between a portal and a doorway?
With pleasure, Cobus. Similar words to describe a portal is doorway, gateway, exit or entrance. In this case, a doorway or portal connects our world, our vibrating third dimensional world, with other worlds with different vibrations. A portal, for this matter, connects you with other world or realms, call it what you prefer to call it. Now, when you talk of a portal or a doorway, people will expect you to show them a physical door or gate or of some kind. The portals we refer to is most of the time invisible for the human eyes, except for, can you guys remember a few weeks ago or so we saw actually on YouTube a few programs where they showed a portal in the sky in which a UFO disappeared. And the replic was that there was not being tampered with that video film.
Yeah.
So yes, portals, anybody can
Yeah.
go on. If you really want to know, go on YouTube or internet or somewhere, get a search engine and ask for it, and it will be in front of you. Non-psychics and non-spiritual people will never glare into a mirror or a black screen, even a water pond, to be a doorway to other dark side dimensions.
How do we explain to them that a mirror as well as black screens and water ponds can harm them?
I think these non-believers in household portals
Learn the hard way.
learn actually the hard way. There's so much that they don't really
Definitely, Cobus, definitely. You and I experience these non-believers in mirrors as life portals on a weekly basis. When these trapped people visit me at my practice for help, they are worried about their own state of mind because they experience firsthand that something is very wrong with them. Very, very wrong. They just cannot lay their hands on the reason behind their alien feeling they cannot explain. This is very serious. After a treatment, when they function normal again, they cannot stop talking about it for months on end. The recipe to become a victim of any portals to the dark side dimensions is as follows, and I would like to repeat it. This is a recipe to become a victim.
Yes.
So don't do it.
Yeah.
Please, don't
Please don't be
misunderstand
the
me in
victim,
any way.
please.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've put this in, but there's also portals to light side dimensions,
Yes.
but they're strictly, you must be
Yeah.
very well covered up in light, etc.
Yes.
We make use of those portals, I would almost say, on a daily basis. Yes. They are, after a treatment, they function normal again. And yeah, you know, as I said, the recipe to become a victim of any portals to the dark side dimensions are as follows.
Ernst, is there any guidelines on how not to become a victim of a mirror portal and all the other portals out
Definitely, Nikita, definitely. Let's share an ancient wisdom secret on portals with our friends out there. Listen to the following. I would first like to just show you how to cover yourself with light. This is not a real program on covering yourself up or light yourself up from the inside, but just imagine the following. You stand up straight, you are very serious, you want to shield yourself from the inside outside with the purest light of the Most High. So how are you going to do it? You stand, I'm sitting now, but you do this. Sorry, you do. But you can adjust. And as there I've got it now. As soon, if you can see my face, you will see it's kind of a goosebump effect. And then you just visualize purest white light coming in your crown chakra, running down your spine, splitting to go through both of your legs, into the ground, coming up again till here, and then explode into the most purest, whitest light that you can imagine. And you will feel it. In other words, do this, go where you can adjust, take it in, and as soon as it stops, just see it as boom, like an explosion, and there goes the white light that you cannot even see through for a moment. On a later program, I'm going to show you pictures on what it looks like to be fully covered with or shielded with white light. Okay, let's just say, let's share an ancient wisdom secret on portals with our friends out there. Listen to the following. Never, never look into a mirror or a black screen of any kind or a water pond if you haven't shielded yourself correctly with the purest, brightest light of the Most High, Torata Re Yahweh Goria. Or if you have any other, the following in your bloodstream. Alcohol in any substance or liquid like wine, brandy, etc. don't drink before you look into mirrors. Prescribed medicine, especially psychiatric medicine like antidepressants, to name just one kind of a psychiatric medicine. Chemical drugs of any kind. When you smoked pot, marijuana, cannabis, dacha, ganja, baseta, all referring to one of the most holy, high dimension herbs the real Hefkenams and the Most High gave to us on earth. So don't let people mind control you by telling you that pot or marijuana or all those other names which are the same herb is a drug. You will make a very big mistake if you believe people like that. Nikita, what kind of drugs do you know people use in modern times? During my youth, I heard about weed, which I understand today is cannabis. Later as a boy, I was told that overseas pop band members used or uses LSD. What do you know? You can somehow address the people out there.
Well, Ernst, I believe there's a very long list that goes on with the drugs, especially the ones that you mentioned just now. Nowadays, even more than what I know of, but from personal experience a long time ago, as well as being in contact with people using different kinds of drugs, and seeing how every drug affects those people differently. Let me tell you something, it's scary and heartbreakingly sad at the same time. I was in that situation with a few drugs, and you can lose yourself. You will sell your soul to the devil. So yeah, you can lose your components, and yeah, you will definitely need a defrag after that. So yeah, I can say things like alcohol, cat, crystal meth, heroin, rocks, buttons, which they also smoke with the cheap weed they get on the streets today. As they prefer it as weed, to it as the lower chemical grown plant-based cannabis, which is also cheap and dipped, sprayed, or rolled in all sorts of chemicals, to which chemical they can use to their benefit to make those people hooked on bad things. And so then all worsens without them even noticing the difference, and it also drives you to want more, and you can't cope or go without it. The same happens when someone uses cannabis with any other chemical drugs, such as the ones that I mentioned just now. All the drugs I just mentioned can be used together in different combinations, which is very, very scary. What does this mean? How many different entities and demons can enter your body, as well as take over your body and soul? I've been there. I know what I'm talking about. I've been there. I've had my fair share of different types of demons and entities possessing me, changing me, and they try to destroy me. With big gratefulness to the Most High Taratari, Yahweh Goria, praise His name, I defeated and destroyed them. And then most importantly, not shielding yourself, as you mentioned. It's very important, properly with the brightest, whitest, purest light of the Most High Taratari, Yahweh Goria. It makes you a perfect target if you're not shielded for dark side entities and demons to enter and take over your body. And then the combination of these drugs together is dangerous. It's like selling a piece of your soul to the devil over that drug, and yeah, it gets scary. The dark entities and demons linked to that drug or combination of drugs take total control over you. You become a different person. You start to lose yourself totally, and it's definitely different types of demons taking over you. It's not just one demon connected to one specific drug. It's a whole combination, especially when you mix all of these types of drugs. It's yeah. There are so many that I would like to explain, maybe in another program, which I think it could be great if we could make a program on drugs and the demons linked to each of them and what they do to you, how it affects you as well, and also all those around you, usually the closest to you. It is a really dark place to be stuck in, and I don't wish any of it on to anyone. But unfortunately, in today's time, this is how the majority of people are living, and it is being used on a daily basis, without families or co-workers, anybody even noticing it. I would just like to say to anyone finding themselves in that specific position, it is possible to get out of that situation. Very important. Before you want to heal from that, I would ask, are you really ready to give up that one thing that makes or made you sick? You are the only one to make that decision. I myself am living proof of that. You can get out of it totally. I was one of those privileged persons to be sent to Ernst, where he has helped me with the higher Zoromolege healings through Paratosas, Befries, Pemarotselia and Rolletetsala courses, calling back my subcomponents that I lost through portals, mirrors, fireplaces, etc. And it's a blessing to be able to have come to know all this wisdom and being awakened in this critical time we're in. Thanks, Ernst, for healing me with the higher purpose of the Most High Taratari Yahweh Goria and the Zoromolege He has been given to us. It's a privilege. I've been possessed by so many different entities through wrong drugs, whom some were even grown into my soul. Those demons were so powerful that it drove me to suicide attempts, many, on different occasions, but by the power of the Most High Taratari Yahweh Goria, I'm still here to tell the story and hopefully help someone out there listening to this program. Please, we can help. It is possible. I'm truly thankful for being one of the saved ones, because It is the most terrible and darkest place to be lost in, with the worst, most terrible entities and demons possessing my body. It's even difficult to explain it in words, and all because of drugs. Remember, you can be saved. If you really want to, please visit our website www.baramastoweroflight.co.za, and you will find all the details there, and we will be able to help you. And also check out our YouTube channel, all linked to the site, and all the necessary details will also be available to get the right help and to get you on the right path.
Thanks very much, Nikita. That was a whole mouthful of wisdom,
Yeah.
and I appreciate your honesty around it. You are one of the few persons that I really see as an honest person, you and your spouse, really. And to the people out there, these two people are today two of the lady friends I trust the most, because I know them inside, outside, and really what Nikita went through is so horrible, it's undescribable, but you can get help, as she said. So what I experienced in my life until now is that people will smoke pot and use alcohol the same time.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Alcohol and pot do not work together,
Yeah.
people. They don't work in harmony. These people become aggressive and loud, but then blame whatever they do wrong under the influence of pot,
Yes,
which is
that's
not
right.
the
It's
case.
not the case.
You know, a lot of people will say, yeah, it's dacha, you know, here in
Yeah.
South Africa, the cannabis
Yeah.
smokers, that is why we hate, but they sit and sit there, they sit and drink
Yeah.
a lot, and then they smoke pot.
And they take lines and do this
All
and
that
do that.
rubbish.
It's a
Never ever, if you want to
terrible
lose
combination.
subcomponents, never ever do that. The same
Very
will happen
dangerous.
if you use alcohol with prescribed medicine.
Yes.
Just to come back, Nikita, we will put a link into the description for the website,
Yes.
so that it will be easier for them to get
Yes,
hold of
yeah.
us. So that in the description there will be a link to the website.
Yes.
And it doesn't cost you a head or a arm or something
Yeah.
like that. It's not so expensive.
Tell us what people usually do in restaurants after having wine with their food, Darren, please.
Yes, what average people doesn't know or want to believe in is that these big mirrors in the restrooms are life portals. Now people prefer to believe in whatever they as individuals want to believe in, something which make them feel secured when they believe in it. Western people are by average too mind controlled to even think of the possibility that what they don't want to believe in could exist in the 99.9999% of all knowledge on earth they don't know anything about. Now, just to explain quickly what the people in restaurants usually do, and this is now with all due respect to all women, especially this two on my right hand side, and my spouse, which is a man. But usually, if you go to a restaurant, you are going to have a bottle of wine, but in the meantime, in the bag, you also have that antidepressant little
Yes.
tablet and
It's
the other
already in
one
the
that you
system.
have to drink just before supper or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you're not drunk or anything, but those mixture in
Yes.
yourself
Oh,
already is horrible. Now, what happens if you drink wine? You need to go to a toilet. A male person on average will go in there, do his thing. Some people will wash hands before they go to the urinal base. Other will do it afterwards. There's reasons for that. But to make a long story short, they will do their number 1 or 2 or whatever, and then go to a wash basin, wash their hands quickly. A man is other than a woman. He will maybe, you know, do that little thing, and then yes, I'm okay.
Yeah,
there you
just
go.
that
What
quick.
does a woman do? she will put the mirror there. Okay, now I
Yeah.
must first see that the, what do you call
Yeah.
this? Lashes is
Yes.
well spread and
Mascara and
touch up the
everything is-
makeup. So where do you look? You look in your own
Yes,
eyes in the mirror.
exactly.
There you go.
Bam.
Gone you are. Inside the portal are earthbounders. Listen to this. You who listened and watched the previous programs know by now what is a earthbounder. Demons and who knows what else. Waiting and looking for the wanted radiation vibration to look into the portal. Now, as soon as the Darksiders in the portal see that you vibrate the smallest percentage of a special intoxication vibration, which is a combination between alcohol and prescribed medicine or other drugs, they go into action. It takes a millionth of a second to enter and exit the portal you have looked into. You will not even take note of it. It all depends on what exactly enters your body, the slightly different feeling the woman or a man maybe will experience after the portal episode will be blamed on the wine she drank. Let me share to you an example of what happened to Floranza years ago. Floranza is an astral yogi master and stays with his spouse Zontara here in Rustalava, the main house we just enter, the gate. We as a team, that is Floranza, Zontara, Parental, myself, Iltisator, communicate two-way with our guides and representatives of the Most High usually on a Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock or 5:15, somewhere there. The next day, a very ill woman visited my consultation room. I saw that she was possessed with something that was killing her slowly but surely. I know that she wouldn't be alive anymore by the next time we channeled our guides to ask what Zora Molege treatment I could use to save the woman. I asked for Floranza to please astral during the night and ask his holy Davros Yual for advice, which Floranza did. The next day, Zontara, this is Floranza's spouse, phoned me to tell me that Floranza was not in his body at work. Some other Darksider entity swapped with Floranza, and that cursing earthbounder had black eyes and didn't know who he was or what his occupation was. Zontara brought Floranza back home, where I met with Floranza. I was shocked to see Floranza's eyes, because he has hazel-colored eyes, not black eyes. I wanted to paratosa Floranza, but then I heard my guide Isai, the shaman and the best shaman or doctor in herbal medicine ever up to date. He said to me, "No, first look behind you." Now behind me, next to the bedside Floranza sleeps, was a 1 meter by 1 meter mirror. Now years ago we watched a movie about a small boy who slept in the attic of his parents' house. In the attic was a mirror, a full-size mirror, a long one. What happens when a person sleeps? He or she as flesh, he or she as a consciousness-giving life form will exit the body of flesh to take in cosmic energy. The boy vanished in the mirror. That is usually what happens. If you astral and you don't know the mirrors, a mirror will look like a corridor and you will enter there. And as soon as you enter there, you cannot come back again, because if you look back, there's no door anymore. Now after that movie, I asked you all what happened, and you'll explain to me in detail what happened. When I ask you with what will I have to do if something like that happens to one of my friends, you gave me the recipe to reverse the so-called soul swapping that took place. I immediately did what I had to do, and Floranza was back in his body of flesh. Then I paratosa Floranza. Now Floranza slept until about 3 o'clock, or he slept until about 3 o'clock that afternoon. To make a long story short, I asked you the following Sunday where Floranza was taken during his swapping. Now you'll explain as follows. Floranza was with him, that is you, in another vibrating dimension. But when he heard Zontara's voice telling him that the shower was on and ready for Floranza to use, Floranza returned to his body of flesh and accidentally looked into the mirror on the side of the bed. The dark side human soul who swapped with Floranza was before the swapping took place in Dara Mokega, a dark side level lower than the Valley of Death. In Dara Mokega, the temperature is minus 68 degrees, while in Dara Mokega you are blind, and all you can hear is the moaning of the souls there. 1 hour in Dara Mokega, which is a sub-dimension of dimension 6 dark side, equals 10.9 hours away from Earth. If we have new friends watching this program for the first time, remember that you are not the body of flesh you see in the mirror. You are the consciousness giving life form, giving consciousness to that body of flesh you see in the mirror. Now when the body of flesh die, you do not die with the body of flesh. You are already part of eternal life, of which this present life of yours is only a very small experience of it. All consciousness giving life forms who gives consciousness to human bodies are like the rest invisible for the human eye. They are referred to as energy bodies. Now every consciousness giving life form functions the same way as a basic computer. Each consciousness giving life form are programmed with all the necessary sub-programs for his or her unique tasks as spiritual beings. Now each consciousness giving life form giving consciousness to a human body are compiled to have a mental component, an astral component, an etheric component, and a Rusala component. That is what you start off with. As you progress, they will put sub little components on where you deserve it fairly. If you look into any of the above mentioned portals, while having an alcohol or prescribed medicine in your blood, the chance is excellent that you will lose a few of those subcomponents if you are lucky enough not to be swapped as Floranza was swapped.
Items for the viewers out there, this must sound very scary, but it's also a very big reality.
Nikita, this is not scary, this is very scary, believe me.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we all look very relaxed here to tell the viewers out there, but if a situation like that, like in our case, pops up,
Yes.
yeah, this is, you know, you don't know what to do at first. You are thinking of all things. How am I going to get that person back? What am I going? He's going to die. I mean, where's his brains? His everything gone to? Now, yeah, not all people are as lucky as Floranza or all the others I was able to call back. In most cases, people will lose a few sub or subcup components while looking into a mirror when alcohol and the above mentioned forbidden substances is in the bloodstream. I know too many of you out there, this ancient wisdom secrets are new to you. Whether or not you believe in this ancient knowledge, this knowledge is to warn you out there. We know about it. Nikita has told you, thank the Most High, that she she's safe, because I mean, even your psychics out there can she's shining. She's, what do you call it? Jy blink. You are shining.
Thank you.
You know, full of light. And I'm very glad that me as an instrument could call her back, or the components that was not in the body anymore. But yeah, please do not go and experiment with this stuff. Just take my warning very seriously. So please don't go and then, you know, next time maybe you call me and then tell me, oh, I've experimented and now I'm not so lekker anymore. I'm warning you, don't go and experiment with it.
What happens when you lose some of these subcomponents? How will it affect your life from that moment on?
Eliska, very good question. And you out there should listen very, very well. Your whole personality will change little by little, all depending on what subcomponents you have lost during the staring in the mirror or in any other doorway to dark side dimensions. The rubbing or swapping in some cases takes a millionth of a second. In most cases you will not even feel or experience anything. Like in Florenza's case, your family and friends will start noticing a difference for the bad in your personal behavior and attitude. Now, when a swapping took place, people around you will immediately experience it, like Zontara's experienced the change in behavior and attitude of Florenza. Now, fortunately, a complete swapping does not always take place, and I'm saying, oh, thank the Most High for that. Normally, only sub and sub-components are rubbed, and in this rubbing, it takes a millionth of a second. You know, in this case, after days and weeks, the rubbed person will start realizing that something is very, very wrong with him or her.
This isn't scary, but frightening.
Indeed, Cobus, indeed. Remember that the dark side life forms on the other side of the doorway looking back at you. Don't even notice your body or flesh you give consciousness to. You know, I wish I could have mentioned a few other paranormal researchers programs, because if they can just go and look there, you know, on what those guys captured on video,
Yes.
they would, you can only benefit from it. But remember that a dark side life form does not even, he doesn't see your body. You can stand there with a makeup was and see
Yes,
how
looking at
beautiful you
yourself.
are. That thing over there does not see you. He just see you as a spirit body giving
Yes.
consciousness to that body. So yes, they see you as a consciousness giving life form. They will take or rub off you what some components they want. If you prefer not to believe in this reality, you are in for a very, very, very unpleasant surprise. You know, some people only get possessed by earthbound human souls or demons of different lower ranks and power. These people may develop a lazy attitude that other people must do everything for them. They don't want to start a business, somebody else must give the money so that I can start a business, and you know, they're not willing to walk the long way. These robbed victims will expect you as their family or friends to give them money to start something, to earn their own money. And usually that doesn't work. After 10 dozen times it still not work. Then you know you're in trouble. And in other cases, the robbed people will start getting slower in all aspects of life. They will tell you what, something like that. In other cases, the rapt person will start getting very slow in all aspects of life. You know, Nikita, if you take into consideration the vibration, the radiation of different cannabis strains,
Yes.
I mean, that is also, you can see it. Some of those strains, if you smoke it in any way, it will give you energy like you can't believe. But there are strains, it all depends on whether you are going to use it. Your body, let's say strain number 1, will bring the vibration of your body down so that you as a consciousness giving life form's vibration can go up. So that you can see in high dimensions, but in the same time this body doesn't want to move very quickly. You know, you become slow and whatever. That is the same effect. So luckily smokers of marijuana who uses that part for meditation usually do it under guidance of their spiritual guides, knowing the Most High in advance of it.
Yes.
You bet what you are going to use. So they are always safe, but all people are not as lucky as us. They take it very, very easy.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, they speak in a way that force you as listener harder and more focused to understand what they really mean to say. Yeah, before I come to this one, you know, other people will not only become slow, but they will also, they cannot, as I tried to show a few minutes ago, they cannot finish off a specific sentence. Other people will say, but just finish your sentence so that I can see what you're talking about. You're jumping from the one, then you know you've lost already a few subcomponents. That's very good. Others will lose faith and reality, or in reality. They will exist rather than live a full life. You know, you get those people, they exist. It is like standing up, go and brush your teeth, it's a routine, you exist. No, man, you live, you do what we do, you run outside and do a skinny dip now and then at my age and enjoy nature, live for a change, enjoy your spirituality, your conversations with your Most High. But others, any possessed person or personality will change, usually for the worst, unfortunately. These possessed or rapt people will find no reason at all why people ignore them as if they are not part of society. But if a rubbing took place in the portal, you could grant yourself extremely lucky for losing only a few minor subcomponents that will make you slow or whatever. The people visiting my practice is far worse off. Now, first of all, I have to call this lost sub-components or the original soul body back to the body of flesh. Then I need to perform a befri. Now, okay, let me just come back to the first one. I have to call this lost sip or whatever back. I'm not going to give you the recipe because this is holy stuff. My voice is activated to do it, but maybe your voice is not activated to do it. But there is a small ritual. It's actually it's 17 words that you speak and the soul is back, or the part of the components that went lost will be back. Then, after that, I need to perform a befri. Oh, this is a very hard sore story, you know. Every time I'm there in the circle doing this thing, I'm crying.
I can remember.
Oh, this is so weird.
When you helped me with that.
Yeah, then I need to before the, you know, which involve 160 dimension Hefkenam, who I need to call and ask her to please defrag the whole consciousness, giving soul body at hand in the circle. This goes together with a ratola. Now, to do all the above mentioned takes about 15 minutes with a possessed person wide awake the whole time. The human body itself can take weeks or months to adapt to the returned sub or sub components, all depending on how much defragment has to be done. But you know, I just want to tell you the reason we always become a little bit emotional. That woman Hefkenam of the 160th heaven, what I mentioned.
If I might add her name.
You know, if she enters the body of the person who needs defragment, of course I can feel a vibration, and this is, you cannot describe it to somebody. Usually the person sitting there also will burst out in tears, you know. It's too holy to describe.
Her name is, if I'm correct, is Hefran van Roba.
That's correct. Yes, Hefken van Roba. That's it. Now, please remember that it isn't the healing or me healing the possessed person. I'm only the student or the instrument in the hands of the much higher dimension, Zora Molege, healers, and the Most High. Please don't let this go out of your minds. Please. I'm just an ordinary person, and I don't want people to think this guy is somebody out of the normal. I'm just a normal person. I'm just very privileged to be able to two-way communicate with the light side gods. And maybe I think I'm maybe an old soul or something like that.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm only the student, and there's people here also. There's no the one is bigger than the other one. Doesn't matter what you know, on which level you are. We are all students equal in the same school of learning the earth.
Yes.
So please remember, it is still the Most High Toratri Yahweh Goria, and no other one who does the real healing. We are just the instruments.
Ernst, I think I know, but please explain to our viewers what the long-term effects of the portal episodes are.
With pleasure.
Please.
You are still with us?
I'm still here.
What are you thinking of? Or you don't have to tell me, but I know as I'm communicating with our friends out there, certain experiences come to mind, what we did together in the past, and so it's actually horrible, but it's so lucky to do it. Nikita, it all depends on how serious the robbing of sub and subcomponents was. In some cases, without healing such a possessed or robbed person or swapped person, he or she will adapt to the new personality, which is always dark side representative. Remember that Dharamokega is in fact a subdimension of what we religious people know as the hell. If you talk about the hell, everybody knows. If you talk about the dark side dimension,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of reaction. So with
Too
all
big of a
due
word.
respect, yes, I call it hell. Nothing good can come from there. Expect the lost soul or the lost components which does not belong there and need to be called back. And you know, just before I continue, it's also very important to mention, if I want to, it was in the beginning the case, and in some cases still, I will not call back somebody or a swapping or something if I have not got permission in
permission to do
advance.
so,
So we
yes.
will organize the quick,
Yes.
communication. I will get my answer, and then we will continue with it. But it is so You know, the way you feel. If you need actually to go in there. Because you see it, you're standing here and you say words, but in fact you're feeling. You know, it's so a privilege to know what the dark side or certain places in the dark side looks like or feels like.
Yeah.
You know, like Edom. It's a planet where Edom came from. And it's also, I think, in the 35 or somewhere there dimension. But you know what it looks like? If you go there, it is like a rusty brown earth with black rocks and red sunset. It is, and what you can see, they can show it through a portal like this, and you can look into it. But only for a few seconds. If you come back for a week, you suffer to. You cannot get over it. You know, it's so I don't know what those people there inside there.
But in that one movie we looked at Doctor Strange.
What, Doctor
Oh,
Strange?
yes.
There's
Yes.
a piece that they actually showed of Eden.
Yes. You'll blame it on old age. But in any case, thanks for remembering that and mentioning that. So yes, you can see what Edom looks like if you go and look. This is not where I saw Edom. I saw it during another aspect. But affected people who doesn't believe in this ancient wisdom secrets of healing will stay as they are after the robbing took place. In most cases, they will end up in psychiatric hospitals for treatment that will not help to retrieve back the lost sub-components.
Ernst, are you not afraid to help these people who lost their sub-components? Aren't they dangerous?
No, Liska, no, they're not dangerous. I help them with all the love in my heart. And after all, I'm never alone with them. I've got the unseen around me. You know, it is... people out there, if you know what I'm talking about, having the ability to feel them and sometimes see them around you. It is so nice. But, and after all, I'm never alone. The unseen deities and guides are always with me and around me. But during the Befri part of the healing ceremony, I feel the 160th dimension Efkenam. She is a female. What's her name?
Hefran van Roba.
There we are. Thanks. In the circle, and her radiation vibration to me is above holy. The moment I feel her around me, I usually have to wipe a tear from my eye. Actually, a lot of tears, but tears of respect, but also of joy, because then I know she will heal the person involved in front of me. To feel a Hefkenam from the 160th dimension next close to me is something very few other persons had the privilege to experience. Those very high heaven Hefkenams have a vibration radiation of a love that I cannot define. It makes me cry every time I exercise a barefoot. But let's come back to what we have to do here. I know that my love for real outside people will always enhance my willingness to help them. To look into a possessed or robbed person's eyes can be heartbreaking for me. But when I looked into those healed eyes afterwards, gives me joy and happiness. To all my friends out there, another ancient wisdom secret. If you cry and the tears flow from the inner corners of the eyes, it is referred to as tears of sadness. But if you cry and the tears flows out of the outside parts of your eyes, it's called tears of gladness.
Ernst, what
Yes.
about water pools, fires, etc.?
Kobus, a fire, yeah, you will remember something. A fire in a fireplace have the same effect as a mirror. All those portals mentioned earlier will have the same effect on you if you stare into them after you had some alcohol, prescribed medicine, smoked cannabis, or had drugs of any other kind. Always remember to shield yourself, as I described in one of the previous programs. I did it in this one also, and there's still one coming. Twice a day. Let me tell you what happened with me one day. Quibus is my witness in this example. I shielded myself that specific morning with the purest, whitest light of the Most High, but forget to shield me again the afternoon before we went to visit friends. Now, in my books, the readers know that I'm using extremely high shamanic choice of very high dimension herbal substances during certain ceremonies. I do not use any of these herbal products offered to me by people I do not know well. One of my spiritual and psychic, very high developed friends invited me that specific day to test a required strain of cannabis. It was winter here in Bloemfontein, South Africa, and after we had supper, we sat in front of an indoor fireplace. After a few minutes, I asked my friends if he or his wife turned down the lights to be pitch black, on which he replied, no. Now his wife immediately said that there was a very bright shining angel behind me. Thanks for that, because 5 demonic entities entered my body from out of the fireplace to blind me. I was completely blind. Me and Quibus went home immediately so that I could paratosa myself. Before I could open the main gate of our house, I vomited 5 times. I could see again and didn't feel intoxicated at all. I heard from our guides that I didn't shield myself before I took the substance, and that I must take care not to forget to shield myself the next time.
Ernst, what about black television and laptop screens? Have you ever had a nasty experience regarding them as portals to dark side dimensions?
No, Nikita, luckily not. But I know where our friends out there can go and study some extremely good examples. There are thousands of different programs on YouTube and internet, specifically on the paranormal activity investigations. I have the greatest appreciation for people researching the so-called paranormal activities. They are willing to investigate where most people won't even dare to go. I wish these people will study my series of psychic and spiritual development books and courses on the main page of our website, Baram's Tower of Light. Most of these people are not psychic or spiritual developed people, therefore they become possessed very often during such investigations. And in some cases they know they got possessed by dark side entities in that place where they investigate, although they don't know how to exorcise, or what do you say, get rid of them again. They don't know how to do it. I use a paratosa, they don't know any form of something to do. I love them and I have the greatest respect for them. They want to know if there is a God or an afterlife, etc., knowing that they take huge risks of becoming possessed. I watch their programs and I learn a lot from them. I do prefer paranormal activity investigators who are high in rank when it comes to psychic abilities. If you watch programs like Dark Ghost, you will see with your own eyes how demons, shadow people, and or earthbound human souls climbed out of mirrors, television screens, laptop screens,
Indeed.
etc. Dennis is the representative of the program series, and that is Dark Ghost. And he even got so far as to make the demons manifest in the mirror. I wish me and Dennis can meet one day. I love the way he does his research, and that is all because I can see he's very highly psychic developed. Maybe you know it or not, but yes. So Nikita, yes, TVs and any black surfaces are portals as well. Caboose, Nikita, Aliska and myself plan to compile a series of video documents on the paranormal activity and how to clarify it. We plan to shoot the first program somewhere in 2024, so I hope you took notice of that, and you hope that, I hope that you remembered what I said there in the garden about the ancient city ruins of some as old as the earth itself, and we are in the planning stadium of a whole series on those. We can cover up 14 programs now, one program per one city, so there's a lot to do, and in this case also, so we are currently busy compiling the research team, the cameramen, the experts in choice of cameras, drones, high developed psychics, two of the best at least, and of course the sponsors were indeed or were needed, etc. If you want to contribute or work along in any way, you are welcome to contact us. The email address is on the main page of Paramus Tower of Light. Now, in the next program, that is program E. I am so excited. I will share information on how to shield yourself properly. Now, don't think this is going to take 2 minutes to present that course. It's going to be very interesting, and the background information, in other words, the ancient wisdom secrets, is going to be very important. You know, if you read that word shield yourself, means nothing. If you know where it comes from, how it's done, how scientifically in the unseen you can prove it to work, you will just see it works, but you cannot show it. It's like the unseen radio waves or television waves or whatever. So please, the real science behind spiritual shielding will be shown to you, or it will be revealed to you. Help us to help others. People, there are so many people out there, and if all those people's radiation vibration stays negative, no wonder we are in the beginning stage of the third world war. I mean, you cannot get away with it. So let's try and get hold of others, let them listen to those programs so that they can learn to help themselves. Your own family and friends can find help in this series. Please help them by sharing this program with them. I mean, I'm still alive, so I'm going to prepare a lot of other programs, but it doesn't help. You listen, and the persons who really need the information doesn't get it. Just advise them by sharing or subscribing and all that other stuff. Don't miss out on it, and remember to please and the little bell icon to be in line for more ancient wisdom secrets. And until then, love and light to each one of you watching this program series. Bye bye.